It is Tuesday, February 1st in the NBA, and I'm back with my 3 best picks of the day. Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot. Feels good to be in February because January was not very kind to us, especially not the past week, which just ripped us to shreds, which is why I normally try to say in these videos, make sure you're managing that bankroll. Don't be putting the mortgage on a bet, but if you do happen to put the house on one single bet, don't worry. I heard RJ Barrett was building a couple brick houses last night. What the heck was that? His attempts like 9 3-pointers. Either way, that was a complete flop. And then the Cavaliers naturally announced Darius Garland out. Yeah, don't love that. And then, so spread picks, I got to retire this for a little bit because every time I bet one, we lose a player due to injury, and it's normally their best player. So, and of course, we ended the night on the hook with Josh Giddey. It was just a ridiculous day. So all our picks haven't been great over the past couple days. We'd still appreciate it if you join the community. Click on that subscribe button down below. We appreciate you guys. Also have one last request besides clicking that like button too. If you guys want to drop your questions down below for our podcast, we film it tonight and then post it tomorrow. We'd appreciate it. Just drop those questions down below. They can be about anything. We ask about our favorite food, our favorite athletes, whatever you want. Just drop it down below. We want to talk about things you guys want to hear about. So without further ado, we got 7 games on today. Let's make the most of it. And I got my 3 best bets, including, well, my best bet of the day officially, Wendell Carter Jr. over 22.5 points plus rebounds, minus 125 on DraftKings. Now, if this line changes, and I've seen a couple books at 22.5, 23.5, even I think points bet was 24.5. So if I assume this line changes, I would take his points. But let's talk about Wendell. Now, Wendell returned to the lineup from injury 5 days ago, or 5 games ago to be specific. And in those 5 games, been pretty solid. He's at 24, 26, 20, 20, and 28 points plus rebounds, hitting this over in 3 of 5 games. Now, we talked about the 2 misses. One of them, shot 2 for 10. Not going to get it done. Just ask RJ Barrett last night, who put up a brick show. The other game, he shot 4 for 10 and fouled out. So both, those are recipes for cashing in under. You normally need either a guy to not make any shots, maybe some injuries, maybe a blowout, foul trouble, things of those nature. But still, I still think Wendell will get it done because he's attempted 10-plus shots in every single game since returning. Now, today he goes up against a smaller Bulls team that will be starting Nikola Vucevic at the helm. Don't really have a 4. So we could see Mo Bamba and him. I would imagine that the Magic will lean more towards Wendell Carter Jr. to play better defense and to play better offense because they need some scoring here. Now, look, centers that have gotten a great opportunity against the Bulls recently, absolutely feasted. You look at Podol from the Spurs a couple nights ago. Well, he had 21 points and 11 rebounds. Now, Jusuf Nurkic put up a big flop, but he only had 5 shot attempts. He just wasn't aggressive in that game. I think Wendell will be aggressive today. Why? Well, it's a revenge game as the Bulls traded him just last March for Nikola Vucevic, and every single game since then, he's taken a little bit personally that they've traded him. In those 4 games against Chicago since being traded, he's had 31, 36, 31, and 26 points plus rebounds, cashing all 4 games. Now, the 31 and 26 came just last month in January with the 19 points and 7 rebounds. The 26 coming just last week against this Bulls team. Now they are back in Chicago, which should give them a little bit more of juice to prove these fans and prove their management wrong for trading him, although I believe the management is completely different. But still, he's going to be aggressive and continue to shoot a shot. He's done that every single game against the Bulls so far since he's played for the Magic. I don't expect Vucevic to really stop him too much. He should be aggressive, a little bit of revenge on his mind. So we're taking Wendell Carter Jr. over 22.5 points plus rebounds. Last game, he only had 7 rebounds. Expect him to get closer to a double-double. I mean, his regular rebound line is 9.5 rebounds. So double-double will not be outside of the question. If you only have one individual line for Wendell, I take his points line at 13.5 or 14.5 personally. But I think he has a big field day against Nikola Vucevic in this revenge game in the Bulls. Now, moving on to my next bet of the day. This guy that wronged us a couple days ago, but we're still coming back to him. Chris Paul over 34.5 PRAs, minus 108 on FanDuel. And we're giving a little bit of redemption tonight as him and Devin Booker take on the Brooklyn Nets. They're at home today in Phoenix. Now, if you only have one of an individual line for CP3, it's kind of hard to really choose one because he's been rebounding the ball well. He's been assisting the ball well, except for one game, which, spoiler, we bet is over and assist that game. And he's been scoring the ball pretty well because you look at this Nets, you look at the Nets have a lot of injuries, but so do the Suns. The Suns will be without Jay Crowder. Oh man, this is a long list. DeAndre Ayton, Cameron Payne, Landry Shamet, Dario Saric, Abdul Nader, and Frank Kaminsky. All these guys, majority of those guys, play rotational minutes for the Suns. So they're really down a lot of guys, and CP3 has just been aging like fine wine, and he's been absolutely handling the rock and destroying teams. Now, the Nets will have Kyrie Irving active. We'll see if they have James Harden, who has the hand issue. We'll see if he's active today, but at least Kyrie Irving will be out there. At least I believe so, unless, well, you know the nature of the NBA. People have been getting ruled out left and right. So probably CP3 is probably getting ruled out this game. But either way, CP3's been stepping up, and he's been playing super well in his last 6 games. With the majority of these guys out, Jay Crowder has missed only the last 4 games, but DeAndre Ayton has been out all of these 6 games. He's had 47, 45, 29, 49, 38, and 36 PRAs, hitting this over in 5 of those 6 games and hitting it easily the last 2 games. Now, you look at it, 5 of those, he's been snagging a good amount of rebounds because he normally is, the rebounds he gets aren't nice little ones. He's going up over big men and grabbing rebounds. That's not CP3's game, but he gets a lot of the rebounds off of 3-point misses, and normally they don't put a lot of defensive liability for CP3 to do, and I don't anticipate they do that again today. We'll have Mikal Bridges, he'll be on Kyrie Irving. Maybe he guards Patty Mills. We'll see exactly who they want to throw him out on, but still, I don't anticipate him guarding a primary ball handler today. They won't put him on Harden or at Irving. That's to be certain. Now, look at CP3. He's been dominating, and you look at 3 games against the Nets so far, playing against the Sun. He's had 40, 26, and 35 PRAs, cashing in 2 of those 3 games against the Nets as a Phoenix Sun. I think he continues to play pretty well today. I mean, this is a guy that's going to have the ball in his hands a good amount of the times, and the Suns really don't have a lot of players to really, in my opinion, blow out a ton of teams. We've been seeing them get pretty close. Even the Spurs game, they were down by 10 entering the 4th quarter. Then obviously CP3 and Devin Booker stepped up. That could be the same kind of case today, as they're one of the best 4th quarter teams in the NBA. So I think the Suns will need CP3 to have a good game. 34.5 PRAs, fine with me. I think he hits his over in points and assists too. So we're riding with CP3 over 34.5 PRAs tonight as my second play of the day. Now moving on to my last one, because we're not doing a spread or over under pick today. Want to at least put those away, get it back into the groove. Going Chris Middleton over 19.5 points, minus 113 on BetMGM. Now, last game, the Bucks, they lost, and they didn't just lose. They got smashed. They got mollywopped, whatever you want to say it. Lost by 36 points to the Nuggets. I say that because I took the Bucks spread in that video, and it never stood a chance from the opening tip. They just their defense was terrible. They were double teaming Nikola Jokic, and he just picked them apart with 15 assists. Even Giannis and Drew Holiday both said we didn't agree with that defensive strategy. So great job, Mike Budenholzer and the coaching staff. But either way, you look at this, the Bucks are going to step up, and they're going to step back today against the Wizards. Now, out of the starting lineup in that Nuggets game, here are their shot attempts. Like, granted, they only played about 30 minutes. Normally, these guys play a little bit more. The guys shot 19, 11, 10, 9, and 8 shot attempts. So naturally, you'd think 19 is for Giannis, and then 11 feels a little bit low for Chris Middleton, a guy that averages 15 field goal attempts, but you'd imagine he's the second guy. He attempted 8 shots in that game. Grayson Allen attempted more shots than him, and that's not going to be a recipe for success. Now, I assume that has to change today. The Bucks haven't been themselves over the past couple games, getting blown out by the Cavs and the Nuggets, and Chris Middleton has to step up, and I believe he will do that just today. Now, today they are taking on the Wizards, and, normally after a loss, Giannis is the guy that steps up, but still it's normally Chris Middleton that becomes pretty aggressive. The Bucks have lost 8 games over the past, since January started. They lost 8 games, including the Nuggets game, so we're just going to rule that one out because I want to talk about the games immediately following the loss. So they lose, what happens the next game? Here has been the following games for Chris Middleton, the 7 previous losses. The game after, he scored 25, 20, 27, 23, 34, 27, and 20 points, hitting the over in all 7 games following a loss. He's got to be aggressive today, and I think he will do just that. 2 games that he barely got over that hump, and he scored 20 points on the hook. He shot 7 for 18 and 6 for 15. So not a good shooting day, yet still hitting the over. I anticipate he plays pretty aggressive today. The coaching staff has to let him know, dog, we need more out of you. And I think Chris Middleton steps up to the plate. Now today they're taking on the Wizards, a team they have a lot of history against, a team that they play a good amount of times every single year. And his last 7 games against the Washington Wizards, who will be without Bradley Beal today. So hopefully this game remains a little bit close. Spencer Dinwiddie might have a decent game, but still, in the last 7 games against the Wizards, he's hit the over in 5 of them. Let's talk about him. He scored 23, 16, 40, 51, 16, 20, and 25 points in his last 7 against the Wizards. The 2 games he went under. 1, he shot 12 times. Then 2, the other game he shot 10 times and played 27 minutes. Look, if Chris Middleton only shoots 12 times tonight, I don't think he's going to hit his over. If he hits his over, then he probably got to the free throw line a lot, or he shot like 8 for 12 in the game. But I anticipate he shoots a little bit more than 12 times. This guy that averages 15 field goal attempts in those games following a loss. It's been pretty aggressive in those as well. So I expect him to shoot a good amount tonight. If you look at the Wizards defense, they're going to have to stop. Giannis from getting to the hoop. If they don't stop him, then this is a GG. This game won't be close. But look, the Wizards defense notoriously runs you off the 3-point line, and look, that will lead to a lot of Chris Middleton mid-ranges and Grayson Allen. If they run him off the 3-point line, he won't know what to do with the ball. So I expect Chris Middleton to be pretty active today. Look, it's just 20 points from Chris Middleton, one of the better scorers. We saw him in the NBA Finals, one of the best. He was great player in the NBA Finals. I expect Chris Middleton to step up today. So those are my 3 official picks. Let's talk about 2 other ones. DeMar DeRozan over 5.5 assists, minus 140 on DraftKings. Now, Look, DeMar DeRozan's been cooking this line. He had 10 plus assists. I think in 2 of the past 3 games. He's hit this line in 3 straight. Taking on the Magic, a team that, sure, he didn't hit this over the last time they played. That was without Zach LaVine. He had 40 points in that game. So I anticipate, you look at DeRozan, he's been having a lot of assist chances. So I think he's got a good chance at that line. Wouldn't blame a lot of people if they asked me that in the comments. And I bet you at least one person asked me about DeMar DeRozan's line. I do like it today. I think it's a pretty good one. The other one, same game, Nikola Vucevic over 11.5 rebounds. Flews around minus 125. I like this one too. We look at Nikola Vucevic, cash for us just a couple days ago on the same exact line with his rebounds. I think he's got a good chance to do it again today against this Magic team, which Magic don't make a lot of shots, if I'm being honest. I don't have my Magic shirt next to me, but man, they don't make a lot of shots these days. It's obviously a revenge game, sorta, against the Magic. Granted, he normally has played pretty well against the Magic so far this season. Had 13 rebounds in that most previous game. Only asking for 12 out of him. Now, the reason I'm not adding these officially is because I don't really want to have a lot in this Magic versus Bulls game. Maybe I make a conservative same-game parlay, kind of, dart throw or something like that for this game, but I don't want a lot in this Magic Bulls game because I've seen what the Magic can do when they get down. They just absolutely implode, and we could see Nikola Vucevic not play a ton of minutes today because the Magic did beat them by 20 the last time these two teams played. So I don't want to lose a lot. Don't like forcing a lot into one game. So those are just 2 official leans. My 3 official plays, obviously Chris Middleton over 19.5 points. We have Chris Paul we have 2 Chris's, over 34.5 PRAs. And my best bet of the day, Wendell Carter Jr. over 22.5 points plus rebounds, I believe was my official line. Let me scroll up in the notes to make sure I get that line. Over 22.5 points plus rebounds, minus 125 on DraftKings. Those are my 3 official plays. Let me know down below your best bet from Tuesday in the NBA. Happy February. Let's start off the month with a bang. As always, if you guys got your questions for the podcast, leave them down below too. I want to hear what you guys want to hear from us. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This has been Austin. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.